So beautiful.
Hi,
Hi.
Jody.
Love
Hi, Jode.
you.
Love you so
Hey,
much.
Jody.
Hi.
Everybody.
Love you.
I love you so.
Love you all so much.
Love
Oh,
you
Love
so
you.
much.
how beautiful you all are.
Oh, love you, gorgeous Jody.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Love you so much.
Oh, yes, let our love flow as much as we want. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. So, unveiling our true soul of love with new choices.
Wow.
How beautiful is that? Even the
Yeah.
title is just like, wow.
Yeah.
It says a lot. And I love that about making my titles do that. You know, they already start the awareness, you know, they start the activation.
Mm.
Just incredible. It's so beautiful. Oh, wow. Where do we start today? Well, a big part of this session of the unveiling of our true soul of love is to look at all the parts of ourselves that we've suppressed. So we're going to look at a lot of suppression today and understand how do you suppress yourself, and we want to unveil all of that and understand that and embrace it with all our love. Oh, you guys are so beautiful. So, you know, that's what I'm going to be focusing on today and helping you to understand basically how we do suppress ourselves, because that's really, when you think about our soul of love, it's not veiled at all, but we veil it with suppression. So that's what's so good, to really fathom and understand how we do that. And it's, you know, our soul is love, and it's always going to be love, and it's always going to be there, you know. But for this amazing journey that we've been loving, I keep getting distracted because she's so gorgeous. I love you so much. I look at each other and I'm like, oh.
I love looking at you too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
I love our love is so beautiful.
Mm.
So that's what we want to do, is understand our choices, because it's really just choices. The suppression is just a choice. So we make a decision, we feel something, we make a decision, we choose something, we choose a thought, we make a decision, we feel emotion, and because that emotion feels like too much to our fallen identity, it says, hey, shut that down, you know, that's scary, that's dangerous, don't let that out, don't feel that, don't do anything but hide it, don't do anything but suppress it. So it's very simple, really, what we do and how we make those choices. And, you know, a really good question you can ask yourself is, how did all my choices get me to where I am now? How did these choices to suppress get me where I am now? And of course, you guys are where you are now because you've been unsuppressing. You've been remembering the love that you are. You're remembering all these higher conscious things that I'm guiding you with, and you're living that and you're understanding that. And it's just beautiful, isn't it?
Wow. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Absolutely
Yeah,
beautiful.
sure
Really
is.
is.
Sure is.
Mm.
And so that's what is there and that's happening. So, but we want to get right into those pockets, you know. We want to really like peer in there and look at what this suppression is, you know, what's really what's really sitting within us that we're hiding ourselves from. Because it is a hiding, you know, it's a hiding, and it's because really usually it's because we just can't cope with the emotional reaction. And it's also really based on a foundation of our original choice to fall. Now that's a big thing to contemplate. What is your original choice to fall? And so we want to try and understand that and unveil that. And that's what it is. It's all it is, you know, a beautiful little veil that we put on ourselves just to forget, you know, but really on it's only an illusion, of course. And we're going to unveil that and really understand that, what that really is. And how do we do that? How do we do that? We do that with, first of all, choice and discipline and dedication to, in those moments when that fallen personality starts, you know, rearing up and feeling really frightened, right? We all feel that. We'll go through a lot of fear. We will go through a lot of worry. We will go through a lot of surviving consciousness. We will go through a lot of reactions to people. We go through our own self-doubt, our own self-hate, our own self-unworthiness. You know, we go through all those feelings, and it's quite big. You know, it's quite a lot to cope with. And I'm sure you can relate to this when you just become aware what you're feeling, what you're going through. And sometimes, you know, when you get into bed at night and you're ready to rest, there's a lot of thoughts there, right? There's a lot of thoughts there that are going through your consciousness. And that's a lot to do in that moment of unsuppressing, actually. You're actually about to rest and sleep, and you start becoming aware of all the things, not everything, but mostly the things that are really strongly on your mind. And, you know, that sometimes can cause us to not be able to sleep very well. It can often cause that, or it can make us just want to pass out. Yeah, just don't think about it, just pass out. So it's beautiful to allow yourself to have a little bit of time just before you go to sleep to contemplate instead of believe. Because, you know, when we go to sleep, we're going into a subconscious land, you know, we're going into a deeper level of what's really going on. And that's why a lot of our dreams reflect what's going on. Dreams are much more than that too. You know, they're amazing. They're fascinating. They give us so many aspects. You know, it's another world, you know, and it's real. You know, you might think it's not real, but it is real. That's not always the most wonderful thing to think about, but it's just another aspect. It's also, sometimes it is really wonderful. We have beautiful dreams, but it's whatever our dreams will be, basically where our consciousness is, what our choices are. So when you have been suppressing yourself, which we all have, that's how we cope. So we don't want to just, you know, feel all those fallen feelings, even though we do. And even when you suppress them, they don't go away. You just make them go unconscious in a way. You stop being conscious of them. You force yourself to stop being conscious of them. But when you do that, you're starting to act on them anyway. You're acting on, your responses will be what you've stored there, what you've suppressed. So having a very strong dedication and discipline to witness yourself will really help you to unsuppress. But just witnessing them is not really enough, of course. You have to understand them. You have to know what are they. And it is very simple when you have those two programs to understand, you know, individuality, survival, separation. Like, our individuality is beautiful and perfect. It's how we are enjoying the facets of our one soul. So that's beautiful. But when we turn it into a strong separation perception, that's when we can really believe in that fallen consciousness. But when we start to witness and we start to realize, well, how does this relate to me, to my survival consciousness? How is this relating to me feeling like a victim? How is this relating to me to trying to get a victory? You know, because those are the polarities. And I know that a lot of people really love the feeling of victory because the feeling of victory, winning, pacifies. pacifies all that victim. Just have a little drink. So that's it's very much of pacification and winning. You know, people love winning, and a lot of people say love wins now, but love doesn't win because love never lost. Love cannot lose. Love is the infinite being that we are, but we can choose to believe in winning and losing. So we look at those programs, and then there's the program of lust and hate. And it sounds quite extreme in a way when you think about that program, because the false identity, our ego, just doesn't really understand that. Just doesn't really understand. It knows hate. It knows it likes hating, and it knows it with the lust thing, that's a little bit more scary in a lot of ways, because you know, it's especially how much it's been at this time. It's very good actually. People are starting to respect each other more, so that's really wonderful. But the lust is just really believing that being sexual is love, and it is ultimately on the highest level of being with your twin flame. But you know, we can be seduced by lust, you know, and there's a lot of programs around that, and I find it really, really fascinating and kind of humorous in a way. Watching, like, I like watching TV, and I'm very selective about what I do watch, but I like watching certain things where I can just watch humanity playing out, especially reality type stuff, because then it's not acted, it's actually, you know, probably a bit of it is. It's all really, everything's an act really in our fallen consciousness. But so watching them and observing where the one soul is at's really good actually. It's really beautiful how much it has actually transformed. And I'm seeing whereas lust used to be open and more, even though there's always been a lot of hiding around lust, secrets around it. But all of the programs are more hidden now in a way, because it's not politically correct. You're not supposed to look at anyone that way, which is very respectful in a lot of ways. It's definitely it's a process of things awakening, aligning, and like I notice on the lust aspect of it, if a man and a woman are having a connection, the woman walks away, the man will not, even when they're talking, will not look anywhere but the face. Even when they walk away, they won't look them up and down, whereas that used to happen all the time. That was just normal. But there's it's not only respect though, it's social consciousness and what is politically correct. So they're not really changing it, then it becomes more secret and therefore more suppression. But in the way of gaining more respect, it's really great, and I really love it, and I can see that there is a lot of transition in that way. But without that full understanding, it's still going to be suppressed, and it's just going to, when something's suppressed and you're hiding from that, then it can suddenly burst out. You know, it can suddenly be activated. It's what creates outbursts. It's what creates anger and rage sometimes, and it's what creates secret lust, because it hasn't been allowed. You know, and then that can play out in different ways. And there's, you know, the world's doing it all over the place. You know, it's all part of the fall, and it's nothing to say anything's wrong. We always want to remember that the reason it's not wrong is because this is our journey of understanding what it's like to be fallen being, and our soul knows the truth. It knows and remembers that we are love. But this is how we do it, and we had to actually program ourselves to say, "This is love." You know, hate is love. Remember how much you love the feeling of hate, right? It feels so righteously, you know, or it's so hidden and it's seething. And then we have, you know, all those emotions in that emotion session, you know, the anger, you know, and then, you know, lust just gets very hidden, hate gets very hidden, but it will all sit there seething until we really understand it. And the craving can get overwhelming. It's an addiction because it's toxic. Remember, addiction is toxic. So addiction to toxin, you know. So this is how we can understand it more, how it works. But I do find it very interesting, the shift in the one soul, where there is more respect. But I see people getting more suppressed by it as well, because they're not fully understanding, and I want to assist that understanding so that it's not being suppressed, it's being understood. And then that respect will really be real. It'll be really genuine. And, you know, it's really beautiful anyway, all of it, to understand our journey. But when you feel the pain of suppression, and as I've talked about before, it's very painful. And the more pain that you feel, then, you know, when you've had enough pain is when you start ascending. And if you don't want to really remember the loving being you are, you'll keep playing it all out. And we've all done that. We've all done that. It's been fun. Fun. It's been like fun time. It's like that can't be fun. And yeah, it's like I always share this because it so has to be said. This is not about not being compassionate. It's not about, you know, we see things going on in the world that just for me that's unbearable. You know, I struggle to see the truth in it because it just feels too cruel or too painful, you know, or too much hate and lust and, you know, the victim and everything. It's all there, you know. So always in the understanding, we want to remember the compassion. We always want to see it from a higher perspective. It's definitely not about being righteous or superior about it and saying, oh, well, they're just in their ego, you know. That would not be ascension. We want to know why they're experiencing it. And this is going to be the freedom for all the one soul. When the one soul is really ready to really remember what I'm sharing with you and remember the amazing being that we really are, that's when things are going to change. And a lot of people are. But it's a process, you know. It's a process. And as I've said before, there's a lot of fragments. You know, I do want to do more sessions on that to explain that further when it feels like the right time. But it's beautiful that the fragments are existing to act out a lot of things. And they'll make a lot more sense. So stay tuned for more on the fragments. But it's just really knowing that it's okay. And it is a choice. And it is for wisdom. So ultimately, to unveil our true soul of love with new choices, those new choices have to be recognizing the suppression. Because the only reason it is veiled is because of suppression, is because of believing all these programs, you know? So how does this feel so far? Anybody like to share what this is activating in you right now?
Yes, I would. I've been just thinking a lot about my whole life. My whole life was involved on the beach. And
could you just share why it was involved on the beach?
Yes. So my father joined a life-saving club when I was 1 year old, and so I grew up in that life-saving club and competing, and so yeah, my whole life was, you know, on the beach in a pair of swimmers.
Yeah.
And I thought that was I thought that was normal, you know, but I remember seeing, you know, a lot of nakedness on the beach my whole life from a young child, and growing up with older guys in the surf club. It was really things that I think most other young adults wouldn't have seen or experienced. but I just felt like it became so normal, but I realized how much I've suppressed that sexuality, that true
Yeah.
sexuality through that whole experience of being on the beach my whole life. My mum was there. She used to make bikinis.
Yeah.
It was my whole life was on the beach in nudity, basically,
Yeah.
just
And
about.
I mean, really, ultimately, that nudity is perfect and beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with it. And there's nothing wrong even with the ego programs. But what you're saying is, and you can share more about this, Sean. Thank you for sharing all this. That the programs, what were the programs? Let me ask you, what were the programs that you felt around that in relation to, survival, lust and hate, win and lose?
Um, I felt like winning was a really big part of it, like because I was involved in competition. So winning was a big part of getting that attention, getting that winning lust almost was like winning lust was a big part of that.
Yeah. Because they all tie in together. It's like if you didn't win, you lost, and then you don't survive, and then you're a victim, and then if you're not lusting, then you're not, I think we used to call it, I'm not sure, I don't think it's called that anymore, but we used to call it perving, like I guess it comes from the word perverted in a way, but it's like lusting men and women in strongly sexualized thing, and the body is more important than anything else. So can you relate to that, Sean?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It was all about the body. Like it was like, yeah, the bodies were everywhere. And it was kind of this suppression of, I know I look good. I know everyone's looking at me, but I'm going to pretend that that's not happening.
You're right. So that's
Um,
very strong suppression, isn't it? Pretend it's not happening. Why did you pretend it's not happening?
um, I felt like it feels like it part of it didn't feel right. Like it didn't feel, I felt a bit grossed out by it almost. Maybe like the judgment I had. Yeah.
What was the judgment?
That it wasn't okay to be naked, to be showing so much body. I actually felt like
You felt that?
exposed. Yeah, I
Right.
felt exposed.
Wow.
Um, but I didn't know, felt like I didn't know any different because it was just ingrained from such a young age.
Yeah, and it's really interesting that you felt that anyway, like you felt uncomfortable. I think I really feel most people do and did, in those times. And like I know part of the system that you were in, being a lifesaver, involved a lot of lust, secret lust in the culture and all of that, correct?
Yes, definitely. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we won't go into all the details, that's not necessary, but just to point it out, that happens a lot, secret lust. And why is it secret? This is the question. It's like, why is it secret? Because really, ultimately, there is a knowing in us that it is a fallen experience. And the secret part of it makes it even more seductive and more victory. But there's so much shame too. There's so much shame around it all. And, like people say, don't body shame me now. And I think that's really great that they're saying that, but they're not fully understanding what that means. It's now it's now used as another form of defense. But this is the thing, what's happening with the one soul is it's layering, it's going through layers of awakening. And thank you so much for sharing that, Sean, because that's quite vulnerable for you. And I really appreciate that. I know we all do. So thank you. And we'll continue to talk about this and, how, like, just sharing that experience says a lot. It says a real lot. And I know I've spoken to a lot of people, you know, I facilitate a lot of people, like thousands and thousands of people, and it's the same thing I've heard from everyone. No matter what their how they're fronting themselves, all these other layers were going on. And so a big part of suppression was to fit society's rules. Yeah. You know, fit the pack. What's the pack that you're a part of? You know, what's the group that you're a part of? What's the rules in this work, in this job, in this, you know, this sport, la la la, and it goes on and on and on. And there are rules in all those things, and it's perfect. You know, this is definitely not about criticizing. We want to really understand that criticism would just be our own ego judging it. So we of course it can feel, oh, you know, and that's good. It's good to feel that, and it's good to know that it's good to know that it doesn't feel right. You know, it's good to know, and it's good to acknowledge that feeling. But there's so much peer pressure to fit something, you know, that's huge, and it still is. Of course, it's evolved a lot, and it's beautiful. I'm really impressed, you know, in a higher way, of how much one's soul is really changing and awakening. But as I was saying earlier, I'm starting to see that awakening has become a rule. So it's like the rule now is, you know, what I was saying, if a woman walks away, don't look them up and down, because you're going to get in a lot of trouble. You'll be cancelled. You know, all the social media has made everybody become more of it's good in a way. It's made people become more responsible, but it's not really changing it if they don't understand it. There's some understanding, which is great, and it's definitely awakening respect. That's really important. But if there's not that real deep understanding of why, you know, why shouldn't we look someone, you know, up and down, or why should we be more respecting? How did we get here? You know, what was the choice? What was the choice that made us do all those things? And I know there's a lot of people really doing some great guidance and understanding, but I do always see that one aspect missing. It's these programs, it's understanding these programs, how really basic and simple it is, because there's still a lot of wrongness. There's still a lot of blame, victim going on. There's still a lot of fight, survival, you know, a lot of fight to, you know, people call it fight the man, you know. It's like there's a lot of that sort of stuff going on. And look, I respect it too. Like I'm not judging it. I respect and I understand. And you know, there is a change and it does make a difference, but we want a difference where there is no fight anymore. Why do we need to always create something for a fight? Why? Answer is because that's how we experience being fallen. It doesn't have to be that way. It's only that way because that's our journey and what we wanted to experience and what we wanted to understand. And this is a whole nother level of perspective. And of course, anyone who's believing their victim consciousness will fight me on that. That's okay. I love you anyway, because I understand you, because I understand and I get it. You know, I get tempted to do that too. You know, it's just like, I don't want these things happening. And I feel really upset and sad and traumatized by things that I see and happen. But then I remind myself there's only one real ultimate answer. Ultimate answer. And for me, ultimate's always been my thing. I want to know the real truth, the ultimate truth. I want to live it. I want everything to be on the highest level. So I'm gonna understand that. I want to know that. And I do know. And it's just a matter of going deeper and understanding. So when we start looking at our suppression, it's pretty easy, because to see it, really, it's emotion. It's the energy of the thought in motion, you know? So it's just emotion. It's just energy in motion, emotion. And so you know, we have our moments in our life where something just triggers us, right? People call being triggered. It's great. There's all these new sayings and everything, and people are triggered. And so, but what's triggering? Why are they triggered? You know, is there a question there? Can they stop and question that? And they can, but do they want to? Or do they enjoy, oh, that really triggers me, so I don't want to talk about that, you know, instead of being willing to, which you can do in your ascension, stop. Why am I being triggered? Like, really? What program is this triggering me? You know, we all feel anger, we all feel fear, but what's triggering those things? We all feel so much fear of survival. Even people who are super wealthy, they're just as frightened. Money doesn't solve it. Money doesn't change programs. You know, money is just another toy to play with. And, you know, on our journey, but it won't take away the ego. It can't, you know. So when people are triggered, they don't know why. They might have their reasons, they might have their memories, they might have a why on a level that's not the higher consciousness. And that's satisfying enough to the fallen identity. The fallen identity is satisfied with that. It just puts that in that box, in that place, and suppresses the feeling. And that's how we do a lot of our suppressing. And what I want to help you understand is when we start unsuppressing, what part of ourself is doing that? When we start seeing our suppression, who's looking at that? You know, what part of you is becoming aware? It's your higher being. It's simple, hey? It's your high. You automatically shift into your higher consciousness. How beautiful is that? So you are living, when you unsuppress and you understand your suppression, you're in that higher being. And to me, that's glorious bliss. That's where I love being. The more that you wake up, the more you're going to want that, because you get a memory of it, you get a feeling of it, you start remembering. And the more that you can recognize that suppression and what the cause is, the more you're going to experience that. Your real true being. That's who. Your true beautiful being of love. And it's not going to react. It's not going to hate it. It's not going to lust. It's not going to be angry. It's just going to observe. It's just going to observe, and it's going to love, because you had this journey. And what do I say? Now you know what it feels like. Wisdom. So every bit of suppression is just wisdom that has not been acknowledged yet.
Wow.
Every bit of suppression is just wisdom that has not been acknowledged yet. So when you want to, and you feel you've had enough of that pain, you've had enough of forgetting, you want love, you want to experience love, you want to live love, that's what we do. We start becoming aware. We unveil our true soul of love with new choices. Simple. The application, on the other hand, takes strength, takes commitment, takes dedication, takes worthiness, takes focus, takes absolutely, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to remember myself, and it's with love. If we are bashing ourselves up because, oh no, I just had an ego moment, oh damn it, you know, I'm falling again, you know, and there's all behind that. It's like, love it instead. And yes, cry, feel whatever the feeling is. If it's hate, feel it, but with an observation, with an observing. Like, we are multidimensional. We can cry and observe it at the same time. La la! We actually do that. Oh, wow, what a revelation. So, having fun. But, you know, it's true. We're multidimensional. So We don't want to stop ourselves from crying because, oh, I'm an enlightened being. I feel I'm just loving. Why do I have to cry anymore? Suppression happens right there. Okay? Because you're just automatically into this rule of knowing there are no rules. There's only love, and love is unlimited, and love says yes. Love says yes. Love says yes to everything. You want to have an experience of having a big old lusty relationship and find out how painful it is? Here you go. Hey, I'll play that with you. Yay, let's play this game. Oh, this is so painful. This is so painful. So painful. Oh, this is really good right now. This is so painful. This is really great. This is so painful. What, remember that? Yes, everyone did. And the wheel goes on and on until you go, oh, I can't take this anymore. What do I have to do? Oh, I can't let go because, oh, I've got my money entangled. I've got a child. I've got a job. I've got this. Oh, relatives. I've got all these things. Oh, I can't. Oh, I'm going to shame everyone, especially myself. Oh, I can't do that. La, 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 la. And it goes on and on and on. And, and of course, if you have the courage and the love to embrace and understand it, not to trash them, not to say, well, see ya, I hate you. We've all done that, to some extent. It's like, oh, thank you. Thank you. Where are we then? Straight up in our high consciousness. Thank you for showing me this. Thank you for giving me this experience. That's the real forgiveness, remember? Thank you for giving me this experience, and saying, wow. And if you do that, all those little pockets that got formed in those relationships where you just pushed it down because you can't leave. You pushed it down because you think you'll miss them too much. You pushed it down because you think you'll be judged, you'll be wrong. And what a beautiful act you've been putting on as a couple too, like, wow, the greatest couple alive, right? We've all done that.
Yep.
What if everyone finds out that was all an act? The shame, So
Yeah.
of course there's this beautiful wheel, and there's this whole beautiful package, how we suppress ourselves. So I'm just giving that as one example. There's many I could give, but this is very common because there's people all over the world married with children, la la la, and I'm not shaming that. I'm not hating that. I am loving it. I am loving all of this. That's why I can say it in such a joyful way, because I understand it. We are having fun because you guys want to know the truth. And what a great way to have it is with fun. But we're also going to balance it out because we want to know that fun shouldn't turn in. We don't want it to turn into lack of compassion. But if you can have the fun and you can understand and see what's really going on, and you can laugh at yourself, who's laughing then? Who's really laughing? If you're mocking yourself and you're hating yourself and you're criticizing, and that's funny, then yeah. But can have a beautiful, real laugh, soul laugh, real laugh of love and of beauty, which will be mixed with tears. It's just, I've experienced that over and over and over through my courage to ascend, through my courage to look at everything in my life from that perspective. And why? Because it was too painful if I didn't. Suppression is painful. That's why there's so much medication. And we can bring suppression into our life. We can go to light interim, we can die, go to light interim, and then come back with suppression we didn't integrate. Why? Because we wanted to have more experience of it. So even children, babies, everyone can come in with that. And there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing at all. It's beautiful and it's perfect, and I love it all. And that's what part of me is talking, my higher being. My higher being has compassion for pain. I cry a lot. I cry every day. I've told you that before. I cry every day because I feel overwhelmed sometimes with the pain of what people are going through and how much I want us to all live in bliss. I want that. But I know how to have that. Yes, it's going to take a huge commitment. It's going to take ultimate humility. It's going to take recognizing how I'm suppressing myself. It's going to take a willingness to not feel wrong for seeing it this way, for seeing it from a really beautiful high perspective of love. So what we want to do is I would like you to connect with something. Just connect with something that you find that you do tend to suppress. Just contemplate that for a moment and connect with a feeling or experience. It's something that makes you not want to feel it. Like, you guys are amazing, so you're already aware of so much, and that's brilliant. But there would be still something there that maybe it's a thing that you keep integrating over and over and over. Yeah, so if you can connect with that, and as you're connecting with that, let yourself contemplate, what's the choice here? What's the original choice? What's the original choice that's creating this same situation, the same moment of feeling like you suppressing yourself or not wanting to feel the emotion? I'll give you a couple of moments to do that. Unless you've already got something, that's good. Who would like to share something that they feel? Anyone? Something that you're connecting with? Yeah, yes, Denise.
I can.
It's the releasing. That's good. Yes.
Yeah. It's feeling wrong, and it is like feeling wrong to exist, to be, and there's so many layers to it. It is feeling wrong, it is feeling ashamed, and it's like the image that keeps coming to my head when I connect with it is like, I have turned my back towards myself with anger. So there's so many things there. There is anger, there is shame, there is feeling wrong. It's like full.
It's always a suppression pocket, we can call it. It's always a package. You know, it always has a package, a little package, a little pocket, you know. So without mentioning names or anything, can you share a basic explanation of what it is that you're talking about?
This, what I was sharing with you was, it's more like a very ancient kind of memory, but I can see that my entire life has this. So whether as a kid I felt wrong, I was a very joyful kid. I am still joyful.
You are beautiful. Yeah.
So, but I felt wrong for being joyful. I felt wrong for being beautiful. I felt wrong for being intelligent. And I always, and what Sean was sharing, that feeling, pretending that it is not happening. I connected so much with that, because most of my life I was pretending that no one is looking at me. I was pretending that because, you know, I did not want them to lust me. I did not want them to know that I'm beautiful or intelligent so many times. But all that has happened. Even at work, I would see all that. So there is, it's just all over my life. But this particular vision, it's like a very gorgeous, tall me is angry and looking, it's turned back and it's like, go away, you are wrong. That kind of feeling. So
that's good.
there is rejection as well.
Yeah, so that's very good symbolism for yourself, because it's really showing how much you're keeping that lid on that, you know, suppressing that instead of integrating. But I was thinking as you were saying that, how amazing is it to be as beautiful as you, to be as intelligent as you, to be as loving as you, to being as compassionate as you, to being as caring as you, and then say, oh, that's wrong. All that's wrong. How does that feel?
Exactly. And then, but this is something that I was connecting when you were sharing more, that, and then we find you and you make it right. You help us see that it is
Yay.
right. And that's, I think, I know, not that I think, I know that is what has brought me here today.
Mm.
Like, as I was connecting with all this, my health situations and everything, I had, like, literally, physically, I have had pockets of suppression, like
Yes.
fibroids and
Exactly, and good point, because that's what I was kind of saying before, that's you know, that's why there's so much medications, you know, because they literally, because our body is our soul, so they literally manifest physically, and this is what creates illness. And as I said, it can come through in your next life, everything like that, you know. And it, of course, it's not wrong. It's part of our choice for our journey, even though the worst things you can imagine don't feel like a choice. But, you know, I have to say that because I know that's how I felt wrong for saying it, for saying the truth, because how can that be true for such pain? But it's the only freedom that we're really going to find from it all, as on an overall scale, is to look at it this way. So exactly, you know, you physically created it. Thanks for sharing that, Nisha. Yeah.
exactly. And what you just shared
And,
about,
how is the fibroids going now?
I had this very interesting experience that there was one real lump that doctors thought it could be cancerous,
Yeah.
and and I knew it wasn't, and they did not have any confirmation. And knowing what I knew, I kept working, and now it's not there.
Yeah.
It's gone, and I was suddenly like, where did it go? I was like, I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, a logical ego is like, that can't happen, you know. But,
Yeah,
and what was the answer?
I integrated it.
Wow.
It's
amazing.
and it was like, so, but it was so, also in that moment when I realized that it is not there, I also realized how much I wanted it.
Oh,
I missed it.
oh, wow. What were
So
you,
now,
what were you
so
missing?
now I don't have that as an excuse to be a victim.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
to worry, to feel like, what will happen, to indulge in that survival. Oh my goodness, I have this. What will I do?
I love that you can laugh at it now. It's brilliant because that's exactly right. I mean, there's a lot of victory in sickness. A lot of victory. It's like, I'm not saying this to be mean or anything, but it's just a real beautiful thing to be honest about. You know, I've seen this in myself. I've seen it in everyone. You know, and when someone starts getting better, they don't want to get better because what about all that love I was getting? What about all everything that you were getting? And even if it's just what you're giving yourself, like what you were sharing, Nisha, thank you so much for sharing. That's brilliant.
And
And
exactly what you said, exactly. Like, if I'm not a victim, I will not be rescued. And so my twin flame won't come because I have to be a victim for him to save me.
wow, exactly. And that's going to work not. I know, it's perfect. It's perfect the way that our fallen identity creates all of the separation, all the the separation and the individuality in a way, on the fallen way, because there's also the beautiful part of our being, our individuals, which is what we're looking at, you know, facets of our beautiful soul in each other and everywhere. So, you know, it creates that individuality and separation, and it's perfect. It's perfect. You know, this is part of our ascension, is to know it's perfect, to not, if we keep forgetting, that's because we want to. If we keep denying, that's because we want to. You know, you kept that experience going because you wanted to, and you're even aware of it now. Why you're aware of it? Because you integrated it. You overcome that suppression. There's still layers, of course, to integrate, but where you are now was enough to heal that, and then you're missing it. And you became aware of that too. Like you didn't believe it, right?
No.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. We're multidimensional. We can observe things and not believe them. We can observe ourselves feeling it and recognizing it, but we don't believe it anymore. Even though the feeling of the emotion is there and you have to let that feeling. Because if you try and shut that feeling up with your good old spiritual dogma, that won't work. You need to be really real and love the feeling. Love the feeling. And that's what you did. And look at you now, more beautiful than ever. That kind of seems impossible in a way, but as beautiful as you are, but it's true. It's true. You know? Thank you so much for sharing that. How do you feel now?
I just feel extremely grateful for you, Jody,
Thank you.
because I know when I first met you, how lost and how suppressed I was. I was so suppressed that I was so rigid in my body, and I was like, I was not like now. My family, biological family, often says that we are getting our Nisha back, but it is not that they're getting that Nisha back. They are actually getting real Nisha back.
Yeah.
And
beautiful.
and they are like because they all thought I was heartbroken because of failed marriage and things like that, but that was not it. It was like that was just that was part of it, but there was a lot that was I was suppressing and I was hiding. I didn't even know that I was hiding those things within myself. But then I met you and you so lovingly made everything okay. I remember this particular moment when I knew this was an ego choice, ego decision. You so lovingly held my hands and said, I see.
Oh.
You said, I see the truth in your eyes, Mish. I know this is for our ascension. And that was it. That was end of that experience without even having to, say anything. It was done. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Obviously a lot led to that point. You were ready to hear that and you created that too. It's like, how perfect and beautiful is that? And I love that. Thank you for everything that you share. I love that you are appreciating me and what I've given you. I love that. It's beautiful for us to love that, and feel that appreciation. And all it does is bring more love, when we appreciate each other with that love. But we've just been so on this beautiful journey, and we have to remember that's what it is. It's a beautiful journey. And when we understand that it is all perfect, and at times it does, yes, it feels impossible. You see, when I see pain of what people go through with their children, their families, and so many things like that, it feels impossible in that way. Like the compassion, the grief, I feel that. I want to save them. I want to. That's why I started doing what I was doing. I wanted to save everyone, and then I saw that I couldn't. Like that's when I first started running my seminars and everything right back in 1990. And I just thought, everyone come to my house, do whatever you want, eat whatever you want, play with anything you want, have anything you want. And that's how come in. I was in Byron Bay and I did that, and I just said, everybody have everything. And they were a bit like, oh, wow, and then as I kept guiding them, that they were becoming more and more unsuppressed. And so, and I felt so happy that I was helping to rescue them and save them. All right. And then one day, it's such a funny memory. They decided to get all my food out of the kitchen. They started making a pack consciousness. It was beautiful, really, because they felt so free. So they got all my food, all the stuff out of my cupboard. They had a food fight. And they threw it all over the walls, everywhere. They threw it all over my house. They threw it at each other. There was this big jar of garlic that I used to eat. I don't eat garlic anymore, but it was just everywhere. It took a long time to get rid of the smell. And it was just, I was just watching this going, this is really awesome and wonderful, but I need to learn a boundary, right? saving them turned into me being a victim. Then I'm the one that has to be saved, you know. It's just like ding ding, you know, like, okay, I get it, boundary, right? And I loved them so much, and it was so beautiful watching their joy, like it really was. And I didn't make them feel wrong at all. I loved them and embraced them. But then I realized maybe I don't want to invite that. Maybe I need to understand boundaries, and I did, and I love those boundaries. They weren't suppression. Boundaries can be turned into suppression. They helped me to understand how much respect people can have. You know, how much when we are totally not aware of boundaries in the way of giving ego complete freedom to affect our life in a way, that can become painful. That wasn't painful for me. It was beautiful and fun, but I still knew it was a beautiful way to find out I needed to have a boundary, and I needed to look at the whole saving consciousness. And there was many, many, many other experiences like that. And gradually over that time, I started to realize how important it was and is to have boundaries and respect them. Our love has no boundary, none at all. It is boundaryless. It is infinite. It has got nothing to do with our love. It has everything to do with our ascension. Boundaries are for our ascension. Boundaries are to help us to ascend. And once that boundary, and you've changed that creation in your life, you don't need it anymore. Once you own why you even need a boundary, you know, like a lot of people talk about boundaries now, but this is very much more of a different understanding, because a lot of boundary focused talk is about not being a victim anymore. But this isn't what I'm talking about. This is about understanding the victim you are. That you chose to experience, because we're not. But the feeling of being a victim, and now everyone's got all these boundaries, but they become, in that way of not integrating it, not understanding the suppression that created all this, they become hard and cold and rigid and defensive and insecure and cautious in a fallen way. Because caution's great. Caution has its absolute ascension aspect too. So when we have boundaries in ascension, we're understanding where that line is, where we're starting to engage with their ego, with someone else's ego. Your ego is starting to engage with their ego. There's a lot of words being thrown around now, you know, empath, narcissism, all that sort of stuff. I think they represent something, but they're not the whole truth. Yes, it's a great label, but it is a label. And I like to recognize what the label is representing, but take the label off. Because if we keep labeling everything and we don't understand it on this level, it won't change. It just stays fixed. And yes, it's quite a good labeling in a way, where it is clearly describing, like the description, right? A label is a description of what is in that full package. You know, you got a jar of tomato paste, it's called tomato paste, but what's inside that jar is a whole lot of tomatoes. So, you know, calling someone a narcissist or an empath is a label for a whole lot of things that are in there. And so I understand why it's used and I respect it. But on a higher level, we go past that. Why? Because we realize what really is narcissism, what really is an empath. Everyone can be a narcissist and everyone can be an empath. Absolutely anyone, because what they represent, narcissism, you know, complete selfishness. Empath, complete unselfishness in a way. Like no balance there. You know, the empath, they say, you know, feels everything. So does the narcissist. It's no different. We all feel everything. But it just depends on how you experience and what you choose to experience it with. So there's nothing wrong with it. It's fun. It's fun having labels. But ultimately, we want to understand more than that. It's rampant at the moment. I've seen some shows that I've watched where it's being mocked. It's being so mocked. Everyone's a narcissist. People are saying that about everyone, and it's actually a comedy. Like they're actually just, tuning into one soul's labeling. I think it's great. Understand that. I think it's great. I think everything is understandable on this level that is perfect, but really wanted to share how limiting it can be and how much veiling it can create on your soul. So if you've had that label, just take it off. Empath seems like a beautiful label, right? Narcissist feels like a bad label, right? So we've got good and bad. So that's not the whole thing. When you have anything that has duality, good and bad, and it's used as a defensiveness, then it's just ego, and it is causing suppression. So, I've met people that call themselves empaths, and they're some of the most suppressed people I've ever met. I've met people that would be a narcissist. They're some of the most suppressed people I've ever met. So it's kind of balances out there, and it's this is not about criticizing that or anyone feeling wrong about this, okay? It's about embracing it and understanding it on a new level. It's about knowing you're not a victim to these either way. Because the narcissist thinks it's a victim to the empath. You're too sensitive, you feel too much. Shut that all down, please. And the empath is like, but you don't feel enough. Come on, feel more. And they're like, no, and it's just this beautiful little thing going on. So I'm sure you've all heard those terms, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I suggest don't put a label on yourself at all. You can describe yourself in a beautiful way. I'm a being of love. I love you. I'm a being of love and I love you. That's my label. It's not really a label, it's just the truth. So, it's great to be able to share our descriptions in a way of who we are and what we want and la la la. I'm not taking that away, okay? Everyone can relax now. No one's looking. It's amazing how my guidance and sentient consciousness can make us feel like we're losing. It's like, oh, now I have to give that up, straight away. It's like, don't go ahead, keep believing it all. I support you. I love you. It's okay. It's part of the journey. But I'm here to guide you in your ascension, and I'm here to help you to understand fully and wholly who you are, and love you, and love everything else. We can't ascend if we don't love. We won't. It's not ascension. It's just not ascension. Not ascending is just rising into our fullness of our whole being of love, and you're not ascending if you make anything wrong. Because when you understand, and I know that's not easy, right? But when we understand it and we have compassion, cry, as I always say, cry, feel it, but then go real deep, go real high, listen to your higher being that's so far above all of that. It's your consciousness, it's your higher consciousness that knows. And that higher consciousness would not judge it. It might laugh at it. It does. Mine does. But not in a mocking way, not in a sarcastic way, but in a real beautiful feeling of love and understanding way. That's so important for us to allow that laughter. We don't want to be ascending and become really morbid, That's I used to see a lot of my groups where people would get really depressed and because they're ascending. I'm like, hey, it's not about that. I understand because your ego is so upset it can't live anymore. And then I got blamed for all of that because I was pointing it out. And I understand that too. And that's all right. I love you anyway. Because I get it. Been there myself. Been there myself. And I get it. If we haven't got the wisdom from it, how are we ever going to know? But the wisdom in that case is to see the part of you that feels like it's losing. Just do ascension. I'm not interested in ascension. I've heard people say, I'm not interested in twin flame either. It's not really real. Ascension not real, twin flame's not real. That's okay. That's okay. I understand. You don't have to. When you're ready, you will remember yourself. It's not even going to be me telling you. You're just going to remember, because the memory is within all of us. The memory is within all of us. All of this. All I do is help you remember. And you either do or you don't. And that's okay. Either way, I love you. I understand. We have to be understanding in our ascension. Mostly with ourselves. That understanding of ourself is number one, really. It's number one. It's really seeing how you suppress yourself. I think it might be making more sense to you now, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it, Clary?
When I've been listening to you, I've just been like, it just feels like a vast amount of suppression. Like, and I can remember never feeling okay to be angry, like never feeling okay to be frustrated as a child. And it's like, unless I'm in like a fake, happy, calm sort of way of living, everything else is really bad. Everything else is really wrong. Like all of those other emotions meant I was like not being a very good person.
Yeah.
So when I met you, and I was someone who
Yeah.
who became morbid, you know. I love you too. I felt so so incredibly wrong for everything I was seeing in myself, you know, like I felt so wrong. And no matter what feelings I have, I feel so rejected. I'm rejecting myself always, and then I'm always creating rejection, although I'm not as well, particularly now. But my
Yeah.
exactly. But I love it so much, and I've had it.
You're not getting, you are getting absolutely loved and praised more than ever, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And like any situation, still that where I'm seeing myself, I just feel so wrong. And I feel so like I shouldn't, this is the feeling, I shouldn't be with love. I shouldn't be. I'm not deserving of it. I'm just terrible. Like just a really terrible person.
Yeah. You're crying and laughing at the same time. There's a multidimensional happening there. I completely understand, Clary. Like, of course. And you know, really, ultimately, if we think about the original choices, let's just be wrong. Like,
Yeah.
let's just be wrong. Like, how completely opposite to the real truth is that in a way? Like, it's
Exactly.
just like, but like, it's completely understandable why you feel all those things, because that's the program. You know, that's, and I relate to all of that. All of that. I think all of you are relating to it, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone relates to
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Because it's so beautiful. So, of course we do. And Clary, it's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that, because the fact that you are remembering that and recognizing that and allowing yourself to feel those feelings, that's a huge step. And you know, you're such a beautiful, compassionate being too. Like, you have so much love, and you don't want to hurt anyone, right?
That's right.
So, you know, and then there's the other side of it where the self-importance is kind of like the opposite in a way. And if I'm not important to all of you that I love so much, then what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Can you relate
Yeah,
to that?
absolutely. Yeah, very much so.
Mm.
Yeah. It's always like feeling wrong, or what am I doing wrong? Because it's not, because it's all about forgetting that I am like that love. It's all about wanting to get that love from everyone. And if I'm not getting, if my ego's not getting what it thinks it needs, then I'm really wrong, and I'm really rejected, and I'm being pushed away, and I'm being isolated, and I'm being punished, and I'm being like all all of those feelings that it's not even real what's happening, but that's what's going on.
Of course. And you know it's not real. So look at the wisdom that you're gaining by even having this experience now. And this is what we do. As we're ascending, we give ourselves, we provide ourselves with experiences in our ascension to see, oh, how did my ego work? How does my ego work? It's transition, you know. It's like a lot of people give up at this point on their ascension because of that transition, because it's in a way it's more painful because the lid's coming off, the veils are coming off. It's raw, like you're looking straight at yourself, and it's just like the old pathway to cut off from that and suppress ourselves. It's strong, but if you can say to yourself, and I know you do this, Clary, this is just wisdom. Now I know what it feels like. And how do you feel when you do that?
Oh, it's like a instant softening. It's an instant, like that really beautiful centering feeling, like of remembering, like remembering the whole purpose, the whole point, and all of us together, and that I can love, and that I am love, and that it's all love, and that, you know, it is wisdom, and I've got the wisdom, and I remember like how much wisdom I've got, and I just feel like so embraced and by myself, and it feels so beautiful to remember, oh, I've got this wisdom, and I've been applying that so much.
I love hearing that so much. My whole soul is going, oh, bliss. You know, just, and that's what we do feel. That's what you're describing, you know.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like it's a very much like a blissful rounding, like a rounding of the oneness of like everything just being completely okay and perfect. And it's just so, it just resolves.
And Clary, you know how much you love humanity.
Yeah.
Ever since I've known you, you've said that, and I get it. When by doing that, that's the greatest gift you can give to humanity. The greatest. Not saving them, not rescuing them, not trying to please them, not trying to correct them, not trying to be unworthy so that you're beneath them so they feel safe, you know, not needing to do any of that. What you're doing by knowing what you just shared, that's the gift and that you give to humanity. And you're seeing that, right? You're seeing that in your reality, because that's why you're getting so much more praise and love, you know, in your beautiful, amazing work creation situation, and so loved. I mean, Clary just shares with me constantly the beautiful love and praise she's getting, and I'm just like rejoicing. And I know that she didn't always get that.
No, I didn't.
Truly, thank you for representing this today, because it's so obvious, the contrast. Hey, Clary.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes. Yes. It is such a, it's really interesting though. Like the suppression feeling feels the same though. Like when I think of myself back then and why I didn't get the same amount of praise, or I wasn't seen like with such love. Like I was just different level of just that same suppression of wanting to, like you said, wanting to correct or wanting to, it was all like that selfish, all of the feelings of selfishness and wanting something in return for something I was doing.
Yeah.
and then feeling wrong for that. So just being like quiet and not very connecting as well. So
Everything
very
wrong.
awkward.
Everything's
Yeah.
wrong in that situation, because there's nothing wrong with us giving to each other. There is nothing wrong with that natural part of us that receives. But we've made that wrong too, right? We've made that wrong. There is nothing wrong with wanting to receive. We're not turning into martyrs, all right? A martyr is not ascension consciousness. It still believes in victim and superiority, actually, to really look at it from a higher perspective. And, like Clary, you've tried to be a martyr too, like you just, it's love and this compassion and this passion to give to humanity can turn you into that if you don't really understand everything I'm sharing about it. And then people I've seen who so-called martyrs or become martyrs, they are very suppressed, very ungiving. It's supposed to be giving, but I don't see that. It's the isolation, it's the suppression of themselves. Even though, there's been some very famous so-called martyrs that have given a lot. If you have a close look at anyone you can think of, you will see how suppressed they have been and how much they cut off from themselves. But I get that. I understand that. That's that rescuing, that saving, that love for humanity like I have. But I don't want to do that anymore in that way, because I want to do what's the ultimate I can do. And that's where you're at, Clary. What's the ultimate we can do for humanity?
Yeah.
Absolutely love ourselves. Absolutely remember the love we are. Absolutely recognize the illusion of this fallen ego perception. Recognize that, because you will transform. You will become a much, much happier person. You will go through layers and layers and layers of letting go, but that will be beautiful. And the more, like, I am here to guide you with this and like hold your hand in a way through this, because I love doing this, and I know I have had so much proof in the vegan pudding that, and I've seen people turn against that, and that's given me proof too. That when it becomes righteous, and I've seen many people try to take what I'm guiding them and turn it into their own worshipping situation, and I get that and understand that. But my purpose is, my whole purpose of my guidance is for you to remember how incredibly beautiful you are, how amazing you are, and stay with that within yourself. Because you living it, every one of you guys has seen the effect. Every one of you has seen the effect living it has. Don't even have to say a word. They just start. They know that there's something about you. You've all had that said about you. There's something about you. And what is that something? That something is that you're making that real, honest, pure choice to recognize the beautiful being of love that you are, to recognize how these programs work, to witness, to discipline, to not turn it into a victory or a new identity. I've seen that over and over and over, how this can be turned into a new identity. And when I saw that, I saw them not choosing their ascension anymore. Of course, because it's limited. Why do we need an identity anyway, really? We don't, because we're beautiful beings of love. That's our true identity. And even then, it's not even an identity. It's just an is. It's just isness. Like, we are pure love. We're beautiful beings of love. And when we start feeling this feeling, right, and we start feeling this love, we feel this warmth, this glow that's not physical. It's something else. It's really pure. It's essence, like we talked about the golden nectar in the last session. If you haven't seen that and you're watching this, then go and see it, because it's amazing. And it's like that. We are that, we are that pure golden nectar. That is who we are. And it's just so different, the truth of that, to turning this into an identity. And I have seen, you know, over my beautiful years of dealing with these beautiful souls and seeing them using what I guide them with as defense. Well, you're creating it, you know, it's like, you're very angry saying that, you know. Yeah, you guys get it. So, you know, if we want to think that, then be quiet with it. You know, sit with that. If we see someone else creating it, start understanding what it really means on this higher level. Because we can look at anyone, we can see what everyone is creating. Sit within you and understand it from this perspective. Understand it from the love and the whole one soul perspective. Understand every bit of ego creates suppression. Every bit of it. That's why it's a fight. It turns into a fight, not just with everyone, but within themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. To try to keep that ego going. And it's just like, oh, if I just try and win a little bit more, you know, if I just try and if I fight a bit more right now, you know, like, just one more fight, I'll win this time. You know, some people do win. They do, well, not some, many. Winning's going on all over the world constantly, but it's not fulfilling. It's temporarily fulfilling, yeah, it's, you know. But, you know, all of our ego to understand our fallen identity is fulfilling on a higher level. It's fulfilling that choice that we made to know what it feels like. It's fulfilling this beautiful journey to forget, to find out what it's like. And, you know, this playground is incredible. It's amazing. It's an amazing playground. It's a dimension, but all the dimensions are here anyway. But the fact that we're in these physical bodies, you know, we're physical, we see each other. How amazing is that? I know I've said this many times to you, but how amazing is it? I do this every day in my life. I look around at things and just go, wow. You know, they are there and they appear real to me. They appear physically real to me. When I use my higher consciousness, I can see the light that they are. I can see the love that's created it. I can see with a different thing, with a different sight. The physical sight is brilliant though. It's beautiful, it's brilliant, but we can feel so much more. You know, and we can see in that way. We can see the dimensions. We can see how we're suppressing ourselves. We can make the choice, new choices. That's why this session is about unveiling the soul of love with new choices, because the new choices are what you have to make. If you keep clinging to those choices and building them more and more and more, which a lot of people do, because that's how the whole adventure of being fallen continues. Clinging to that ego perception. You know, if we make a new choice, we don't stop clinging. We understand clinging. We understand what it really means and what we think it's going to give us. It's a great question to ask. What do I think this is going to give me? And you'll see many things if you do that. You'll see many reasons what you think it's going to give you, but you will go right to that bottom line, survival. Eventually, as you question it, that's where it'll lead you. And if it doesn't lead you there, you haven't seen it all. So that's the whole deepest, greatest understanding, is to understand survival consciousness and separation consciousness. Like, why, if we see everybody as one being of love and we admire the beauty of this physical world instead of trying to escape it, we admire it and we love it from that real higher being, what's that going to feel like? You know, would we still want to escape it? Would we still try and survive in that perception? We would feel gratitude, like real gratitude. Not, I'm a good spiritual gratitude person, real gratitude, real depth of insight into what gratitude really is. Beautiful. You know, for me personally, and for all of the One Soul, ascension is everything. And when I say ascension, it's everything I'm talking about. It's everything. I don't feel any interest in anything else. I want to express my ascension in my world, my life, express my love in my world. You know, but the reason it's everything is because I already understand everything else. I am still continuing the integration. Yes, there's still layers to integrate, but I know what it is. I know all about the illusions, that they're not real. But I feel them still. You know, I still feel grief and I still feel all the different feelings. But with my higher being, my multidimensional consciousness, I observe it. That's real ascension. That's real ascension. Real ascension is not cutting off from feelings. That will keep you suppressed. And it's not getting a new religion or a new dogmatic path. It's not giving yourself a label. It's unlabeling yourself to choose the very purity of your being, which is love. And I am seeing more and more people choosing that. But I still see, even in choosing that, there'll be something that shows me they don't fully understand it. There's still survival and victim, lust and hate there. And I love it. You know, I don't want to force my change on anyone, and I don't want to force anyone to change. That's not real, because that wouldn't be me believing in victim. And that's why I often say to you guys, don't force it onto people. Don't try and be the teacher of it. Just live it. You know, live it and love it, and you will see people transform in your reality. You all have. You've all done that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's your yep friend.
Yeah.
Margie?
Yes. Oh, I have. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah.
Very good. And Sean?
Yes, I have.
And beautiful Nisha?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. Very?
Yes, I have.
Yeah. I just wanted your beautiful face to come on the screen so that everyone can see you. Beautiful face and soul beaming with love and recognition of that. Yes. Yeah. Has anyone got any questions or anything they would like to share? And we can take it from there.
I would love to share something because the biggest thing that I've been suppressing and integrating was to feel love. And because when I was a child, I felt more safe in being angry and hating people around me than being my love, because I felt always that I could not be heard if I was also hating and angry. And
good. Well, that's very well seen. Yeah.
And also I felt a kind of superiority in being hateful, because when I was loving, I felt more like losing. And it took a lot of humility to because then I started to people were saying it's wrong to be hateful, and then I started to suppress my hate too, so my love and my hate. And then I met you, and it was like, no, it's perfect, it's okay to feel your hate. And then I couldn't love it, but I could love it with such joy, and also because I could see it from my higher perception. And I could laugh about it. And for me, laughing, if I can laugh with my
Exactly. Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
then it's expressed.
That's brilliant. That is so brilliant. That's ascension. Number one, you recognize you used to feel those things. You recognize why you felt those things. You recognize that you can laugh at these things with love, and you feel the joy of that, and you feel your whole being transforming. And look at you, it's obvious, you know.
Yeah, and now I love. I feel so much love for everyone, and I get it. I get it back from everyone.
What do you get from everyone?
Love. I get love back from everyone in my reality.
Yeah, exactly. And you didn't have to try and change anyone. You just focused on yourself and the love that you are. And then that love just keeps getting amplified because you awaken to the multidimensional being that you are. You awaken to the multidimensional feelings of love. You know, you feel them on that level. And it's just so beautiful. Thank you so much, Amy. I love that. I really love that. And I feel so much deep joy to see that transformation in you. And you'll see it. You'll see, you know, like a lot of people in your reality, they might not be ready for this, right? For this level, like you guys are. And make that okay. We don't want to force it. It's okay, you know, I understand. But you, they are ready for. They're ready for you living this. They're ready to feel that from you because that's affecting them profoundly, so profoundly. Like, realize that, and there'll just be so much change. And you know, you're feeling that. You just said that. You know, you're getting love, and all of you are feeling that. All of you are feeling, and because I know, because you've all shared with me outside of the sessions, you've shared with me how much love you're feeling and how much, you know, your life shows you that. And so it's just obvious. It's just so obvious. You know, it's I have to say it again, the proof is in the vegan pudding, you know. It's just like, yeah, it really is. Thank you so much for sharing that, Amy. I love it. Awesome. Anyone else? Are you, Margie?
Yeah, I would love to share. Thanks,
Oh,
thank you so much. What?
look how gorgeous you are. Oh my God.
Oh, thanks so much for everything that you've said tonight. Like, as soon as I hear the word suppression, I feel, oh my gosh, I really want to love more. You know, I feel like I hold back my love so much. And it's always like that. I think every day I think that I want to love more and I want to love more, and I just hold it back. And when you said to what do you think that's holding you back, I thought, you know, at the beginning when you asked that question, I thought not loving enough, and then to think about my first choice, and I feel like I thought straight away, I hate my twin flame for leaving me.
I can laugh now because I understand it, but
yeah,
you get it. I completely get it.
So, you know, I quickly went back to that.
That's good.
But
That's good.
yeah, I'm just loving everything that you're saying. And I think I have a lot of judgment on how much I think I don't love enough. You know, I think I feel that judgment is there, and I think that's blocking the love. But also I feel like I suppress my expression as well. You know, I want to express a lot more.
What's the expression that you want to express a lot more?
Just joy and
right.
Just instant expression, you know, like spontaneous expression of love, you know. Yeah, just that's, you know, I feel. And you have talked to me before about programs and beliefs that I've had that are within me that I've shut down from and things like that, you know. And I do think about that a lot, and I just want to finish with all of that and just, you know, express so much more. And yeah, it's just, but this has been really, really good. I feel like this has been a really big thing for me to look at and change, and everything that you've said today, and to hear everything that you've said, and go through. I've been contemplating the shutting down of love, and I've been thinking about the choices of hate and not love, and flashing back about other past lives and thinking, I feel like this life has been such a huge suppression of love for me in this life. That's what I feel. I wonder if this is one of the biggest lives of suppressing love and feeling hate. But I'm sure that there's been others, but it's just something that's come to mind this time. Yeah. But it's really painful to shut down the love.
Now you know what it feels like.
Yeah. Yeah. I know.
Thank you so much for sharing all that. And you know what was really, really, really beautiful for me watching you share all this? You said everything I was about to say to you. Like you were just, it was just rolling out of you, like the wisdom and the knowing and everything. The understanding was just rolling out of you. And I was just like, oh, I'm just going to sit back and listen, because wow, it's amazing. And I understand everything that you're sharing about, that you want to love more. And that's great. That is a natural part of our ascension, because we're understanding the part of ourselves that isn't loving, and like you realize you've had a lot of those fallen aspects in this life, but that was just for this life, was to show you the wisdom of it, to show you the wisdom, because ultimately here you are, you're ascending, right? That was the plan the whole time. So knowing that, and all you know this, whenever you get to this point of ascending, every part of your life that was painful was for the wisdom. And you gave that to yourself. So it's brilliant. It's great. And just remember what suppression is. It's just hiding from ourselves. It's just having the ego pathway, believing it, and continuing to believe it. And that's how we create the suppression. Really, when you think about it on a really high level, we only think we're suppressing love, because we do, in our fallen identity, we still think that's all love. Like Emmy was sharing, thinking hate and anger would protect her. And we've all been there. That was still a love foundation of that. It was, that's how we've done it. Love is a big part of the ego, because we are love, and we had to love it to experience it, I saw that beautiful little being.
It's just here still.
I love it. It's enjoying this. So, thank you for saying that. And you're doing everything perfectly, Margie, everything. And I feel like that love that you're wanting to experience more, it's just knowing that. And because there's such a strong pathway in you to think you're doing everything wrong, as you're sharing. We've all got that. We've all got that. Really, everyone's fallen identity is the same. No different. What's different is how we choose to experience it. That's why the foundation is easy, because it's the same for everyone. And if there's any denial about that, then it's just denial. That's it. It's true. It's true. We all have those foundations of that beautiful false perception, forgetting ourselves. Those programs that I talk about often. So it's simple. It's really not complicated, but the complication comes when we haven't integrated the suppression, right? The suppression needs to be understood, and that's just the things that we hide from ourselves, the things that we shut down in ourselves. We have a feeling, not appropriate to feel this right now. Suppress. We suppress anger, we suppress hate, we suppress lust. Winning and losing even is suppressed. We use winning and losing to stay suppressed. Because if we truly understood ourselves as love, there's no winning and losing. It's just not real. If we truly understand ourselves as love, we know there's nothing to win or lose. We just enjoy our love. And as you're doing that, every time you remember this, guys, every single time you're under suppressing, that's how easy unsuppressing is. It's not we have to sit down and calculate, oh, I believe this, but well, how can I change that? But it's good. I mean, it can really help you write this down, but you don't have to get locked in your head. You just remember the love that you are. And this is why I always guide you this, and why I quite often just burst out laughing when you share fun things, because I get how much we've loved it, and
Yeah.
I relate, instantly relate. So with our love and our joy, we see it. If we're not seeing it like that, where are we? We're back in it. We're keeping it suppressed. So when we, all you have to do is start now. Start now. Start being beautifully loving and understanding. This is another level of unveiling yourself and recognize your suppression gently. Okay? Gently.
Yeah.
Lovingly. Forcefully. That's laugh at that one.
Yeah.
Another fun one. A good way to suppress your knowing. If you're forcing yourself to understand these things, there's a good way to suppress. You'll start to forget even how to do it, It's like, there's no need to force it, but there is need to be disciplined and committed. But that's not, I've shared this before. Discipline's beautiful. Like, I know there's a lot of connotation around the word discipline, Discipline is not going without. Discipline is not being restricted. Discipline that I'm talking about is remembering the infinite being of love that you are and understanding the fallen aspects. And they're just so simple. Anything that's painful, suppression, anything that's painful, any little bit of uncomfortable feeling is your personal identity, your ego identity. It's simple. How simple is that? But are you willing to witness it? Are you willing to really see it for what it is? Are you willing to have that commitment to ascension? Remember, ascension is remembering love. So love is a part of this. Love is all of it. So we do it with love, not with, oh no, I believe my ego again. And who does that? All of you. All of you.
Yeah.
I get it. That's what we talk about. I know the wisdom of that. And I'm just like, oh, wait a minute. Another one. And I laugh at myself a lot. I laugh at everyone a lot. Sometimes it's just the laughter is just a pure joy of seeing the beautifulness of the oneself. Other times it's the laughter of wow, and it's filled with love because it's like, wow, they're loving this so much. And that's love. It's not about mocking or being sarcastic. Let's make that clear. If you're doing that, then la la la, back in the ego land, and that's okay, right? There's a lot of okaying, isn't there? There's a lot of okaying. It all has to be okay. It all has to be okay. If you make one thing not okay, you're not ascending. You're not understanding. In a way, to understand that on another level, you do, in a way, say that it's not okay for me. I'm finished with that. In that way, it's serving you. It's not, you're not being mean. You're just being real. You're saying, it's not okay for me to keep believing my ego. I don't want to anymore. You make that, that's part of the commitment. But what is okay for me is to remember the love that I am. That's okay with me. That's even more than okay. That's just everything. That's what I'm talking about. That's the discipline. It's everything. Make it everything. That's how you ascend. You don't ascend by having rules and part-time, lists that you have to be rigid about. Or we write a book on what's this religion about, or what's the rules in this book. We've got plenty of books like that in the world.
Oh yeah.
Nisha knows, I can tell. She's read them all. So right, Nisha?
Yeah, I'm like, yep, I know.
Exactly. And look, they're beautiful too. Everything, when you understand that higher level, is really knowing the beauty in it all. Have you ever had the experience where someone fits this beautiful, perfect concept that they're the most ugliest thing you've ever seen? Like, yes, they have their eyes, the right shape, the right concept, the body, they're tall, they're skinny, they are, whatever the concept is, but it might be fat even for you, it might be big rounded person, but if they aren't in that beautiful love, they're ugly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's nodding, everyone relates to
Yeah.
that.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 Our fallen identity is ugly and good. It's meant to be. We can pretend, we can use seduction to look more beautiful, but who's going to believe that? People who want to be a part of the lust and hate with you. And I've been there. I get it. I understood it, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I allowed myself to get really good at seducing because I wanted to understand it, but it was painful, temporary, very temporary, because I knew once I got what I wanted from the seduction, I wanted the real thing.
Yeah.
The real thing, once you've started it with that, unless you both say, well, okay, wow, we believe seduction, let's ascend now. That can happen, So it's very simple. It's very simple. It just takes it takes full commitment and awareness, and gentility. Be gentle with yourself. Sometimes you do have to be really strong too. I am strong with myself too. Sometimes Jode, that's not real. It's still gentle, and loving, but it's just like, hey, we're done with that, remember? Oh, yeah, I remember. I love talking to myself. Talk to yourself. It's a beautiful thing. And you can talk to everyone else's being too on that level. If someone's not ready to hear this, you can definitely talk to them on that level if you feel like it. If they don't want it, it won't matter how much you do that anyway. But the way I always see things, the perfection. If you're in their reality and you're doing that, something wants it. Something in them wants it, right?
Yes.
Simple.
Yeah.
Easy to understand. It's real ascension is very simple and easy to understand. It's not about labels, and it's not about how well you're qualified. Not that. Look, I've got heaps of qualifications. I still prefer my ascension. I used to hang on my certificates on the wall, when I first started doing my guidance. I thought it would help people to realize I had some wisdom and I did understand things. And then I just stopped doing that because they just felt limited to me. They didn't feel like it was me even. And I felt that even when I was learning, and I'm really grateful for all the learning though. But everything that I learned, like all about health and well-being and all sorts of spiritual techniques and heaps of them. There was one thing that I did mostly disturbed everyone because I saw more than that. I always understood more than that, and I questioned everything, not in a mean way, in a pure way. I always saw through it that my consciousness wanted everything to be simple, not complicated. I didn't feel like I needed to have a whole lot of intellectual stuff in there, even though I have it. But if I refer to it, it's for several reasons, and it can be some understanding on, like, because I learn a lot about anatomy and physiology and all of that, and so Chinese psychology, all sorts of things, like the list goes on and on and on. And those things really helped me in a way. But I only referred to them in relation to my ascension. So it meant I had to go much further than what I was learning. It meant I had to see a much higher perspective. It meant taking a label off. Like I could, with what I have, I could label myself with my qualifications. And I'm only sharing this not because I need a victory, because I don't. That's kind of funny to me. In fact, I don't usually share it but in this instance, it's relevant to understand that's not the answer. It's not. I know there's a lot of things that are being learned. Like not just on that level, but all the medical field, all of it. But what's it all for? Yes, it's there, and it saved my life before several times. You know, and I know, and I've looked back on why I need my life saved, because suppression. That's all. When I integrated that, transformation. But the medical field is important at the moment. Why? Because of our fallen identity. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's amazing. And the more, and scientists and everything, the more that the one soul is waking up, the more they're starting to understand things on a higher level. Like when the medical field advances, when the science field advances, it's always about a higher perception, right? So what happens when they get to this perception? I think that they would probably have ended all that a long time ago, like Nisha did. She's the most highly qualified person I've ever met in that field. You know, she really truly is. And it's like, and look at her sitting here wanting to know this. That helps her as a reference, but only in reference to her ascension. And that's what I did with it, and still doing with it. If I don't use it as a reference to understanding myself, and that's anything, any information, because you know, all we have to do is Google it now. It was nothing like that, you know, when, you know, years ago, you had to go to the bookstore. I was just talking about with my grandson Jamie about that. I used to go to bookstores all the time, you know, because what? You know, I got some bookstore, you know. We used to have books. I used to have piles of books beside my bed, you know. I started to read. I loved it. I was hungry to know everything, but I always transcended everything because I had that really deep understanding of my soul, and that's what I came here for. That's why I'm here. And that's been a lot to embrace too. It's been a lot to accept, to even be able to say that, because I didn't ever want to sound deluded. I only want to speak the truth, you know. So, yeah, it was funny with the books, but you know, now all we have to do is Google it. We can get any answer, whether it's right or not. That's to be debated. But you know, misinformation, as everyone knows, and so, but it's still there. It's there. But look at it from a higher perspective. Use it as wisdom, not for ascension. It's for wisdom. But if you look at it as, oh, I like that, I'm going to be this person now. You know, I'm going to be a hypnotist. I am actually qualified as a hypnotist. You know, like I've done it, I did it, I know what it's like. You know, but I didn't really set out to do it. It just came into my life, and I thought, yeah, I'll do that because my mum was doing it. I thought, yeah, I'd like to do that. And I did enjoy it, and it did give me a lot of insight, but all it did was give me more of my understanding of my ascension because I chose that. But, you know, when you become fixed in a label, it's okay, of course. But your ascension perspective, if it's not there, then it will limit you. You know, like, I hope you're understanding all of this, because it's really part of the one soul. And it's really part of understanding. It's not about blaming. It's not about saying people are idiots. It's nothing to do with that. People are perfect. They're beautiful. And I love the dedication people have to their field, you know, and how much it does help humanity. But what I am saying, ultimately, we're all going beyond that because we're ascending. We're all going to ascend, and that unsuppressing ourselves, unveiling our soul, massive part of it. Basically, every session I've done has involved that, you know. Everything I've ever done has involved that. You know, I used to do a lot of rebirthing with people. It was called rebirthing. I changed it to light heart healing. I preferred that name, and changed it to the way I wanted it. But it was great connecting with people's emotions and how they felt. But I felt like the massive part that was missing was the integration. And so that's what I focused on more than anything, was the integration, seeing the whole picture, understanding it in that way, so that there could be change, so that there is a choice. And I know beautifully the One Soul is becoming more aware of that. I am giving it to the One Soul. I'm thinking it. It's everything you think been given to the One Soul. It just is, and I see it constantly. It's so incredible what I see people, how I see me in people. It's beautiful, and I love it so much. And you will see. I've seen all of you in everyone. It's beautiful, you know, because we are everyone. But my point here is why I'm sharing this is because as we're ascending, we're affecting all the One Soul. And you know, I say this always because it's true. It's true. So in a way, what that does, not in a way, what that does is takes you out of the victim to everyone else not ascending. Takes you out of that victim's, oh, I just wish there was more awake people, blah, blah. It takes you into, wow, I'm giving it to the One Soul. Every bit of my commitment to my ascension, and everything I understand about my suppression, every time I choose to have a feeling that's fallen, instead of cutting off from it, I acknowledge it with my love, with my witness, with my dedication to my ascension. I do that. Every time I do that, I'm unsuppressing myself. I am also assisting all the One Soul to do that. You know, people talk about the 100th monkey thing. You might have heard that story, you know, an island where a whole lot of monkeys they'd stake the bananas with the peel on, and then one monkey peeled that, and then they all just, when, I think it was how it went. I might not be exactly right, but I think when 100 monkeys did it, then all monkeys did it. They peeled the bananas. So it's like that in a way. I do love that story. I've always found it very representative of what I can see. And so thank you, beautiful, beautiful souls, for doing that for the One Soul. Thank you. Does anyone else have a question or anything like to share before we finish?
Yes, I do, Jody. Yeah. I just obviously this has been so perfect. It always is, but I just really feel like I feel so much. But
I get it.
I feel like I've been doing really great. And my ego wants to say, you know, you haven't been, but I really feel like I have. And
Absolutely.
but I feel this session tonight has just taken me to another level of commitment and discipline and desire to want to just really ascend and really get to that core, because I feel like suppression has been such a big part of my life. Like I've felt wrong my whole life, you know. I felt from a child. And I remember feeling the suppression, particularly as a young teenager, like it was like I was imploding. That's how it felt. It felt so painful and so like it consumed me completely. So I just feel like it's been, such a big part of my life. And I'm sure it has been for everyone, but this session tonight has really just given me that piece that's missing to really to find myself. Because
the suppression, if we don't see it and understand it, it keeps operating. Like it just keeps functioning on automatic. You know, that is how we did it. We created brain pathways that are automatic. And so thank you for everything you're saying. It's fantastic. And it's just like, to understand this is why you're recognizing how good it is, because it will change those pathways. You know, when you make that choice to look at the suppression, the pockets, you know, what's really deep in there, you know, and let yourself feel through. It's been beautiful watching you feel your emotion today, Sean, the crying and everything. It's so beautiful. I always love how you allow that. It's so beautiful for all of us. And I've seen it in all of you at moments feeling that emotion, and it's beautiful. And just really recognizing how much there is still suppressed, how much there is. So yes, it is very important to include it. But also everything that you've understood as we've gone along is helping you to understand this more. That's how I do the guidance, is to allow it to flow where it can help the full understanding. And there's so much more. There's a lot more. But this is great. Thank you so much for saying that, Sean. Anything else you'd like to share?
Just how much I love you, Jody, and just since the guidance that you give, I wouldn't be here without you. You know what you give to me and all of us, and how I feel because of the guidance that I allow from you is just so blissful. It's ascension is everything. And I really feel the more I trust your guidance, the more I allow it, the more I feel that desire of that ascension is everything.
Yeah.
Because it just feels home. It feels natural, and it feels just blissful. You know, it's like the only feeling that I want is to understand myself and to feel that joy of being alive and being and ascending in my love, remembering my love.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Like, oh, I love you so much, Sean. For me, there is nothing more beautiful than to hear that from you. Like, it's just absolute divine. And thank you so much for sharing it, and so powerfully and beautifully choosing your ascension. And I know that, you know, as I've known you over these years, you've been in and out of that in a way, but you never forgot. You never forgot the foundation. You were just exploring your wisdom. And it feels like, from what you're saying, is that you're done. Like, you know, wisdom now. You have that wisdom. It's strongly within you. You're ready to just, oh, I already know that wisdom. And that's what happens. And, you know, a lot of those seeds were planted in you when you first met me all those years ago, and to how to do that, you know, how to recognize. And of course, I've evolved myself a lot more since then. But it's just brilliant, and that you're now ready at this point. Do you feel that, Sean? Do you feel like I love seeing all of your faces, and when I see a lot of things I say, I can see the recognition in you guys. And I've seen a lot in you tonight, Sean, the recognition of the wisdom and all, like, experience that I'll describe. And like, you're like, yeah, you know, like, you've already had that. You already have that wisdom. You get it. And your beautiful focus of comprehending your ascension and your intelligence. Brilliant. You're all brilliant like that. You know, intelligence, but ascension's going to do that. And it is doing that. You know, we're saying yes to ascension. So, you know, we talked about that in the last session, you know, really saying yes. And I think it was the last one. Anyway, it was one of them.
One before that.
One before that, I thought that. but because everything's woven the same one. But, you know, when we're saying yes to our ascension, and we keep saying that because of the wisdom, and because, like you said, I've done everything. This is what I want now. And that's what I've always said to people: look, if you've got something else to do, just do it. It's okay. I'm not, like, I tried very strongly, and you would remember me, this part of me, Sean, is to prevent people from falling. I tried very strongly to just, like, you know, keep at it, you know, stay with it, keep going. And then I started to really realize that, and it was incredibly good wisdom to realize it's their soul journey. And if they're not finished with that wisdom, it's perfect. So now I get that. And now I feel so much peace and fulfillment in myself from not trying to prevent it. In fact, encourage it. Go for it. You know, go for it, because it's beautiful. It's your wisdom. I love you. I understand. I understand. And I'll always be with you in my heart, my soul. And I'm here for you whenever you are ready for more of this. And Sean, you were a perfect example of that. I love it so much, like, wow, thank you. Thank you for doing all of that and gaining all that wisdom, and then being here in these sessions and just nodding your head and just going, yes, I get it now. Yes, I've had that experience. And nodding, yes, this ascension is what I want. Yeah. How does that feel?
Feels so beautiful. It really does. Like I just the words just aren't there, but it just it's everything, you know. It just feels like everything now. This session tonight has just given me that extra oomph to really understand, to spend that time to understand that suppression, to understand why I'm thinking that, why am I feeling that. And I actually have been doing that the last week. I've started to go, okay, stop. And in the morning, I get a lot of thoughts, Jody. I have a lot of mixed thoughts in the morning, and I've been spending that time, rather than just getting up and getting off my day, laying there and going, okay, let's just lay with this, and then trying to focus on that fact that I am love. You know, before I get out of bed, I am love, and starting my day from there has been really beautiful.
That is so beautiful. That touches me to the core. It's just so true and so beautiful. And thank you for doing that. It's exactly what we can all do. And I do that too. You know, in the morning, you've just come out of, sleep. So there's a lot of subconscious levels. The suppression is in there, in a way. It's there. It's like it's all there unconsciously, because basically we go into that dreamland. And so the morning is a great time to do that. And I've noticed for a very long time how I feel in the morning, because I know what's showing me that I am suppressed, what's showing me that I do still believe. I used to, I've always been a very happy person, but I'd often wake up in the morning feeling depressed. And I'm like, what? Why am I depressed? I want to understand it. And I'd realize because it was suppression, and I realized it because I was really angry. That a lot of anger was suppressed, and the anger just relates to not getting what I want, right? So I started to understand like that, and you guys have all that wisdom, all that knowledge I've been giving you to be able to do that and apply that in your own natural, beautiful ascending consciousness is activated, and so it's there. And I think that's really great that you shared that. Thank you so much, because that's something I have recommended people do. And what I also recommend is the other side of that, going to sleep. I always spend time before I go to sleep is what do I want to create? What do I want to integrate? What do I, what is it that I am feeling? Just be aware of it for a short time and imagine, myself ascending more, recognizing my limitations and anything in that moment, because each time it's something. There's a lot of similarities, but there can be different things. And so I just ask myself to do that, and to allow my dreams to show me myself, allow myself to be relaxed, allow myself to remember love, and choose sleep time for your ascension too. And I love doing that. It's beautiful. So thank you for sharing that, Sean, because I think everyone can relate to it, actually. Everyone will relate to it. But it's absolutely interesting how you shared it in this one, in the suppression one, because in the unveiling the soul of love, because that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. And thank you so much. I love you so much.
And I love you too so much.
Oh, I'm so grateful.
Love you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. It's the best thing you can do is let that love flow. And that's what I wanted to say. And I do say to you, let your love flow. Yes, the boundaries of who can really receive that from you in a way of talking to them. But at the same time, I made that decision. I'm not holding that back anymore. But I also know where those boundaries are. If I feel like this would disturb someone too much, I respect that. I don't share my love to disturb someone. You know, it's like, it's being unselfish in those ways too. It's just this balance. There's always balance in our ascension, and we start understanding that balance in that beautiful way. It's not suppressing, it's intelligence. It's our higher intelligence to know where that is, but they'll feel your love anyway. They'll feel it. They do. They do. I see that all the time. It's beautiful. So, but we have to let ourselves in our ascension feel that love. We have to do that. We have to do that because that's remembering ourselves. And as I said, as soon as you become aware of what you are suppressing and what it is and how you can transform that, you're instantly in your higher being. You are instantly in your higher being. You are there. You are absolutely coming from that perspective. So I would really love you to honor that and recognize that. It will be really beautiful for you to know, oh, I'm being my higher being right now. You know, in this dimension. I'm in my higher dimension. This is who I really am. And I'd really love you to honor that when you're doing this. It really is the undoing of that suppression. It really is. It won't happen without that, because it's your higher being that's seeing it. We can see it from our ego, but that'll be just some sort of judgment or something and all that stuff. Or we can be really nice about it too. You know, those polarities. But you'll know, and you'll feel that pure love. And that's what you were sharing, Sean. Like you're feeling that love, you know, like it's just, and I welcome, as I've said to you, I welcome that love because I love you. I love you. And your love can flow with me. I have no limit on that. Sometimes I feel like, oh, wow, like it's an overwhelming feeling, but it's the best overwhelming feeling. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Sean.
Thank you, Jody.
Would you like to share anything else, or has that
No, I feel really content with everything tonight, and all the love that I feel and the love that you're giving, and
beautiful.
I feel so much beautiful gratitude for you and everyone. It's really beautiful.
You are beautiful, Sean. You're so amazing, and you are all beautiful. We're all beautiful. It's like, but watching the transformation and seeing the beauty coming out, like, you know, it's coming out. Our real true beauty is here, but we are unveiling that. And that's why I had to do this session on suppression, because it's the pockets of the unintegrated ego, the ego in the born identity that we haven't addressed yet. But please go gentle on yourself, okay? It's not anything you have to push. It'll just be there now that you've made that decision. It'll just be there for you to see it. Thank you so much, Sean. I love all of that, and I love you. So anybody else? Oh, thank you. Anyone else before we finish up tonight? Oh, anyone else like to share? Yeah, Claire.
Just wanted to say, I love you so much.
Yeah,
and
me too. I love
you. Your beautiful communication tonight with the potency of helping us really understand the higher perspective of suppression and the undoing through becoming and being through the choice.
Yep.
I just felt like it just went bing for me, like just like when you said it quite a while ago in the session, it was just like, oh wow, that's what I just, like, my soul was like, I'm just ready to hear that, and I'm ready
you
to.
were. I mean, you are. You're ready to recognize the higher being that you are. So beautiful.
I love that so much, and thank you so much, because when you were talking about that, there was just such a strength of clarity and such a potency of love behind every single word. It was like that was the vibration, like coming. Oh, I just loved it so much. It was like it just reached reached me, and I was just like, oh, that's what I've got to,
Oh, I love
that's
that.
what I've got to do now. Like,
Yeah.
and I, yeah. And I
Well,
sat, well,
yep.
thanks. And I sat,
I love that. Yeah.
yeah. Because I did go into that morbid state, and I did, like when I first started understanding my ego through you, and I did start suppressing more, I felt. But tonight I'm like sitting here going, that was wisdom. That was
Yeah.
wisdom. And it was like, I really wanted that from a soul level. I really wanted to understand all of that, how to suppress myself through spiritual dogma, and now I understand. So I've got that wisdom. I really have that wisdom.
Yay! I'm so happy. That's
Yay.
really brilliant. That's brilliant, Perry. Thank you for sharing that. I love you too.
Yeah,
Thank
because
you so
sometimes I
much.
felt like, oh, what did I do that for? You know, like why did I waste my time with Jody doing that? I could be so much more awake than I am right now, you know, like and my ego goes
Back
like
in
that.
yourself up. Yeah.
Yeah. And
But
now
no,
tonight
it was perfect. It was the
it
layers
was perfect.
clearing. It was just the layers.
Yeah, layers. Yeah.
Look at you. You're doing amazing. And we've got more layers and we'll just keep going.
Yeah.
But thank you so much, beautiful. I love you so much.
Oh, I love you so much.
Oh,
Thank you so much.
Oh,
Forever, always loving you. Thank you.
Thank you, beautiful. All right. Anyone else who hasn't had a chance to talk, right? Is that you, Nish? I can see by that beautiful smile. Yeah.
I just want to say thank you so much, and like everything you have said, of course, is like treasure of ascension. It's like we can take any snippet of your guidance and spend rest of our lives awakening with that.
True.
That's how gorgeous it is. It's
Thank
so
you.
complete, every bit of it.
But it's great to hear it in all different ways too, isn't it? So great
Exactly.
to keep on letting it evolve. But thank you for saying that. I love it.
Exactly. It's like every time when you say this, your guidance, as you said, is so simple, and that is the sign of intelligence, because intelligence is simple. It cannot, like, I'm so grateful that I understood this very early in my life, that my dad helped me understand that if I answered anything, so to check whether I understand that or not, he would be like, can you explain that to anyone simply? Then if you can, then you have understood it. If you cannot, and if you have to use a lot of jargon, and if that medical jargon or technical words or all those things, spiritual words, then that means you haven't understood it, because if you really knew it, it would be simple. And that was kind of, that's how I kept learning, and I always kept understanding more and more how to purify it and share it simply. But of course, it was still coming from that limited perspective, because I was not connecting with the whole truth that I understood with you, that
it was a start. It's like a starting point, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
We all have those starting points. So perfect.
Yeah. But what I like, there's so many things I love about today's session, but what I want to share is how physical your guidance is, like how it actually physically transforms us. Like this is something, like it is the fallen version of spirituality, separates the body and soul so much. And that causes so much pain and so much suppression. Now I understand that more.
I understand it like this. Our body is our soul. So how would that benefit our ascension to ignore it? Like you said, it's this full suppression. But I do understand where they're coming from with that as well, because they're wanting that much higher frequency in a much higher place. But in that way, they're still interpreting it from the fallen perspective, which is great that you know that.
I used to miss that understanding, but then I found you, and you said this when in early days, that your body is your soul, and I'm like, that's it. I was like, my soul rejoiced in that, because especially learning everything about body and everything. My dad was a pharmacist, growing up in that environment of looking at body as something that is, that needs to be fixed in a way. And I understand that. I understand how, but I always saw, even in those books, it was very clear that we can heal ourselves. There is this consciousness, but they did not use the word consciousness, but they used, pathways and chemicals and cell memory and DNA activation and all those words. But
it's still there. What I'm saying is still in all of that. Like the way they're interpreting it has some limitation to it, which is great, but there's also this thing that they often say, we don't know it all.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what I was like, but I want to know. And then I found you and I started knowing it. I loved it. And even today, like all your guidance, I could feel when I first started talking to you about the feeling wrong, my throat feeling unsuppressed, my shoulders being unlocked, my back feeling free. It's like it's so instantly like you can feel it at all levels. Your guidance helps at all levels. And I am physical right now. I am in this body. So I want to feel it here. I don't want to wait to be somewhere else and understand it.
No, but in saying that it's physical, it's the beautiful representation still of our creation. So it's not separate. Nothing is separate. So it's beautiful, embrace it being our soul. Everything is our soul. Everything. That's another section, I think, but everything. Yeah.
And I love that. See, like this layers and layers. So thank you for all this super intelligent, magnificent being that you are, and letting your love flow so we could understand what real love is, and then we could let our real love flow, and just layer by layer keep picking up with this joyful, gorgeous being that you are. So thank you.
Oh, thank you too. You're so, so beautiful. Oh, wow. Thank you. Oh, I love you so much, Nisha. You're gorgeous. Gorgeous. Oh, all right. Well, would Imi or Margie like to say anything before we finish?
Yeah, I can. I'm just enjoying everything. And I feel also a lot, because suppression has also been a big part of my life.
Yeah.
And I still feel I'm suppressing a lot.
Yeah.
But now, because last time I did a session with you, and then suppression also came up, and but also the word free. You're free now. But after that, I started suppressing even more, and I was like, how is this possible?
Oh, because once you are showing that you're free now, everything that isn't free will be presented to you. That's what we remember. It's part of our ascension. Things get shown to us when we do another shift, because you're ready for it. So well done.
Because I wanted to do another session, but I felt so unworthy because I was so surprised.
I'm here whenever you're ready, beautiful. I'd love to do that. I love those personal sessions too, and the grid sessions. Yummy. Thank you so much. I love you so much, Yumi. It's so beautiful. I love you. To see your transformation is really profound, like all of you. I really see it every time we start the session, and then every time we finish is another level. And that's how it's, we're showing ourselves how real it is. So thank you so much, Yumi. You're having a lot of courage to do what you're doing. We all are.
Thank you for everything you share with us, for your guidance. Every time I feel like a new layer is coming up, and I'm always, it's just amazing how perfect it is. Like you see all these sessions following up on each other, like it's very profound. Thank you so much.
I love it. Thank you so much, Yumi. I love you so much. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Oh, okay, Margie.
Yeah, just quickly, I wanted to say thank you for everything tonight. But I know I heard you say, and I hear you say often, that you feel so much love that it is just so overwhelming at times, that the feeling of the love. And I was saying tonight how I suppress my love, and I know I'm going to trust that I'm going to get to that point of feeling that as well. because I'm always following your guidance, and I know that by keeping on following your guidance, I trust it. Yeah.
But you're applying it.
Yeah.
Following it is beautiful, and thank you. But what you're really saying is that you follow it and then you apply it, and that just shows you. If it wasn't showing you that, then that's okay. But it is. Oh, Maggie, I love you so much. You're beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you for this. It's been amazing, and I loved everything everybody shared.
Me too.
It's been absolutely gorgeous. Thanks.
I really, really love this session so much, as I do all of them, and it's just so beautiful to be able to for you to be so receptive to my guidance, and that actually helps it to flow even more. So thank you so much. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
I absolutely love this, and thank you for sharing your love for it too. And I can't put into words, really. That's why I have to say I love you beyond words. And for your dedication to your ascension, it's the most inspiring thing to me. It's so beautiful. Like, it truly is. You really give me so much to my beautiful life with your love and your beautiful glow and your shine. And I'm always thinking of you all. I love you so much. And we can do that. We can think of everyone in multiple thoughts. Because we're that amazing. So thank you for today. Oh, I love you so much.
Love you
Thank
too,
you.
Jody. Love you.
Love you so much.
Love you so much.
Love you.
I will finish now. Yeah. It is. I always feel like, I just want it to keep going, but I know I have to finish. So I love you so much. But we'll keep going, won't it? We'll keep going.
Yeah.
I love you all. Love you so much.
Love you.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you.
Love you.
All right, here we go. Love you, beautiful.